Now at 5, concerns about trains stopped blocking crossings. Why some people are worried, and we find out why this is happening and what can be done to prevent this situation.
Tonight, a Metro Police lieutenant charged, accused of stealing something from the police property room. We'll show you what he allegedly stole and what comes next for the lieutenant.
Rain chances are set to return this weekend. I'll have more on the timing and how much rain to expect.
The people united will never be divided. The people.
Young people rallying to keep the planet healthy for themselves and future generations. What they are demanding.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
And good evening to you. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. First at 5 tonight, the Muncie Fire Chief is calling attention to a major safety issue. Trains are stopping and blocking busy intersections for long periods of time.
RTV6's Stephanie Wade is in Muncie looking into the issue and hearing from people impacted tonight.
This sign warns of longer wait times for trains to pass here at this railroad crossing. It also says here train frequency increasing. But what it doesn't warn against are trains completely stopping and blocking intersections.
Can they just like stop before they get to the, can you stop right there?
Trains are stopping, blocking busy intersections at McGalliard, Tillotson, Batavia, White River Boulevard, and Walnut Streets in Muncie, impacting first responders, businesses, and even schools.
It's a huge disturbance for people trying to get to work, people trying to do different things throughout their daily life. But for us, it could be life or death.
How often are buses late because of the stopped trains?
I would say several times each week.
Bus drivers having to notify principals regularly so teachers can make adjustments for students. And the Muncie Fire Department is now placing 3 ambulances at MLK, Hoyt, and 12th Street, areas impacted most by the stopped trains. The issue has been ongoing for some time now. All feel no solution in sight. I reached out to both CSX and Norfolk Southern Railways, which operate in Muncie. Hear what they have to say about the problem. Coming up at 6. Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
If you're concerned about a potential safety issue in your community and need help getting results, contact us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. Now, breaking news into the RTV6 newsroom. Emergency crews are at a mall in suburban Chicago after an SUV crashed into it and started driving inside the mall. This developing story is happening in Schaumburg, Illinois at Woodfield Mall. You can see the front of the Sears store there is severely damaged. Police say no injuries have been reported. World News Tonight with David Muir will have the latest for you on this at 6:30.
Developing now, a lieutenant with IMPD is charged. He is accused of taking gold coin from a police property room. 31-year-old IMPD veteran Lieutenant George Crooks has been suspended without pay and formally charged with theft and official misconduct. Investigators claim he went into the IMPD property room on August 16th, 2018 and took a gold coin that had been held in a different investigation. Now, at the time of the charges, Crooks was in charge of the IMPD property room and all personnel assigned there. IMPD has recommended to the Civilian Merit Board that Crooks be fired, but right now he is suspended without pay.
New at 5, Walmart says it will stop selling electronic cigarettes at its stores and at Sam's Club locations. This all follows several illnesses and deaths related to vaping. Once the current inventory is gone, Walmart says that's it. More than 500 people will have been diagnosed with vaping-related breathing illnesses. An 8th death was reported this week, but health officials still have not identified the cause. We'll have much more on this coming up for you on the Now Indy at 5:30. There is one confirmed vaping-related death here in Indiana. The Indiana Department of Health is investigating 34 respiratory illnesses connected to electronic cigarettes. A hot and humid day across central Indiana, and it still feels like the middle of summer, but we can tell you changes are coming.
Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounts is here. Kyle, what can we expect for the rest of the evening? We've got football tonight.
Yeah,
what's going on?
We've had the warm, muggy conditions all day, and in that we've had a few downpours that have started to kind of pop up here. Let's take you to Storm Team 6 radar, and you can see where those are generally over the southwestern portions of the area. Even a little bit of lightning now being detected just just to the southwest of Bloomfield in Greene County, and also over Sullivan, a downpour for you. These are all drifting toward the north and east. Coverage should stay fairly isolated for us. In fact, as we look out over downtown Indianapolis, not a whole lot of development with those clouds. Our temperature still in the middle 80s with a southwest wind between about 5 and 10 miles per hour. A little more humidity out there, and it is making it feel a little warmer. Heat index is 89 degrees in Muncie. It feels like 86 in downtown and 88 the heat index in Bloomington. So as you do get ready to head out for some of those football games this evening, kickoff temperatures will be in the lower 80s with partly cloudy skies. Just that stray shower chance here, but by the time the games are wrapping up, temperatures in the middle 70s.
Right now, IMPD is searching for the person or people who shot and killed a man on the city's east side. Metro Police say they rushed to the 600 block of Carlisle Place before midnight for a report of a person shot. Officers found a man suffering from a gunshot wound in an alley. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The victim's identity has not been released. If you have any info, call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
The people united will never be divided. The people.
Young people in downtown Indianapolis demanding change, hoping to make our environment better for the rest of our lives and for our children. Local students walked out of class this morning to take part in the global climate strike. They rallied at the State House demanding action to end dependency on fossil fuels. Students rallying today also pushing for lawmakers to pass the Green New Deal.
A traffic alert that you need to know about heading into next week. The Indiana Department of Transportation will close 4 Meridian Street ramps beginning Monday at 4 a.m. Crews say they will be repairing winter damage. The closures include the ramp from westbound I-70 to Meridian Street, the ramp from eastbound I-70 to Meridian, the ramp from Meridian to westbound I-70, and from Meridian to eastbound I-70. Again, these closures begin Monday at 4 a.m. and continue through next Friday morning. Soon, the city of Indianapolis will add another park.
But it's not new green space. Lilly will officially donate South Street Square Park to the city of Indianapolis in a ribbon cutting and dedication ceremony on Tuesday.
Lilly developed South Street Square Park on its corporate campus downtown to provide an area where people can enjoy green space in the middle of the city. The ceremony at Lilly's headquarters will formally transfer the park to the city.
A beautiful spot there. Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6. Ring doorbell camera video is now being shared with police departments and investigators. The questions this is raising about technology and privacy.
Up next here at 5, new technology may be making it harder for kids to call 911 in emergencies. What you have to see and how you can teach your children what to do. Kyle.
And fall officially arrives on Monday. We're going to talk about the new feel that comes with the new season. You're watching RTV6 News at 5.
Welcome back to RTV6 News at 5. Calling 911 can save a life.
But does your child know how to make the call in an emergency? Well, working for you, our Scripps team is finding some children are having trouble. As it turns out, new technology can make it tricky for kids. And many parents aren't even aware of the quick ways to dial 911 on a locked smartphone. Your child doesn't have to know your passcode to make an emergency call. If you have an iPhone, press the home button. Once it comes on, then press it again. The screen will prompt you to make an emergency call. If you have an Android, you can swipe the screen to wake it up, prompting the emergency call button. Once patched through to the call center, technology only helps pinpoint a broad area, but dispatchers need your actual address.
It's best if you can teach them their address at an early age or let them know where to find your address within the home. A lot of times, even with adults, we have to tell them where to find their mail.
Experts say it's also important to teach your child that it is okay to call 911 and not be afraid. Make sure they know staying on the line with a dispatcher and not hanging up is critical in an emergency. Also, dispatchers say it's never too early to teach your kids how to dial 911.
New tonight, President Donald Trump denies knowing the identity of a whistleblower who reportedly filed a formal complaint about a call the president had earlier this summer with a foreign leader. ABC's Serena Marshall has more from this quickly developing story from our nation's capital.
President Trump pouncing on the anonymous whistleblower who, sources tell ABC News, turned to the intelligence community watchdog to report a call between Mr. Trump and a foreign leader about Ukraine.
I don't know the identity of the whistleblower. I just hear it's a partisan person.
Trump defending the call with the unknown foreign leader as totally appropriate.
It was actually a beautiful conversation.
It is still unclear which conversation the president and the whistleblower are referencing. Trump spoke with roughly 5 foreign leaders, including Russian President Vladimir Putin and the recently elected Ukrainian president, in the week weeks before the complaint was made. The Washington Post reporting the person was concerned about a promise made during the call, and the Inspector General deeming it as, quote, of urgent concern that might require notifying Congress. The complaint coming the same month that nearly $250 million in military aid to Ukraine was resisted by the White House. Senator Chris Murphy visited Ukraine in August following concerns they raised about that aid.
Listen, it's just beyond the pale. If the president was using taxpayer dollars as a means to try to get foreign leaders to do him political favors. I don't know that that was the case here, but I can tell you this, the impression already exists.
The money finally released last week, but questions now being asked about pressure exerted by the president's personal lawyer on Ukrainian officials to investigate alleged ties between former Vice President Joe Biden's diplomatic efforts and his son's business ventures. Today, when asked if the president did discuss Biden with the leader of Ukraine,
it doesn't matter what I discussed.
The administration argues they don't have to release the whistleblower's complaint to Congress because the call contains confidential and privileged information. But next week, the acting director of national intelligence will be on Capitol Hill for an open hearing. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Breaking news just into the RTV6 newsroom now. A death investigation is underway after a body was found on the city's northwest side. IMPD says officers found the body on Kimmeridge Lane. That's near West 56th Street and Georgetown Road. Officers have not released any more information, including the identity of the body. This is new video that we're getting into our newsroom, though. We are working to get more information on this. You'll want to check with RTV6 and our app for updates on this breaking news we're following.
And developing tonight, authorities now say the remnants of Tropical Storm Imelda have led to the death of a third person. Investigators near Houston, Texas say that preliminary indications are a man whose body was found in a ditch today, drowned from storm-related flooding. An autopsy will be performed to confirm the cause of death. The unidentified man had last been seen walking during severe rainfall that hit the Houston area. Imelda's remnants also led to the death of 2 other men on Thursday.
Hiring Hoosiers is an RTV6 initiative to connect you to job opportunities, and tomorrow the Pendleton Correctional Facility is having a job fair. They're hiring correctional officers. The career fair will be at the Pendleton Correctional Facility Training Center from 9 a.m. until noon. It's located on the 4400 block of West Reformatory Road in Pendleton. For more information about any career training or education story that you see on RTV6, go to hiringhoosiers.com. It is Friday, and that means it is time for Friday Football Frenzy. You know, the night of hard hits, touchdown throws, crazy celebrations out there.
RTV6's Alyssa Donovan spending time at Cecina High School today.
Yeah, the fans and the team are preparing to go up against rival Roncalli.
The crowd at Cecina High School this morning was pumped up for the game against their longtime rivals.
We've been preparing all week for this, so we should be ready.
Roncalli has been a strong challenger for Cecina for years. But tonight, they're planning to take home a win against the Rebels for the first time in a while. This game is a big deal.
We've been losing for like 20 years, so we should get this done. We got to.
I'm excited about going up against a really quality team and quality program like Roncalli. I said, I know Coach Marsh is going to have them ready, and it's going to be a big challenge for us.
But a challenge this team is ready for. The Crusaders are undefeated this season and don't plan to give that up just yet.
We're 4-0, and we've got some explosiveness on offense. Our defense plays really hard and gets after people.
And with a crowd like this cheering them on, they're bound to come home with another win.
We're coming for you, Roncalli!
I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Thanks, Alyssa. And a few of the many games we're covering tonight are Decatur Central at Mooresville, Greenwood at Plainfield, Franklin at Martinsville, Lawrence North at Carmel, and Pendleton Heights at New Pal. And on Sunday, it's the Colts home opener at Lucas Oil Stadium. The team is taking on the Atlanta Falcons at 1 p.m. The Colts will try to add to the momentum from last Sunday's victory over the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. But the Colts have confirmed that linebacker Darius Leonard will not play against the Falcons. That news just breaking within the last couple of hours.
Big news there.
Are we going to have a roof open kind of game, or
I think for the game, we should be in good shape. I think the rain is going to hold off till a little later on Sunday. But, yeah, we'll watch and see exactly the official call on the roof here for Sunday's game. Right now, yeah, we got a couple of downpours out there, really focused over southwestern portions of the area. You can see that rain is expanding a little bit in coverage here over Greene County around Bloomfield. The lightning has dropped out, but it could pop back in there any time here. And again, these are just drifting slowly to the south and toward the east a little bit here through Sullivan right now as well. 85 degrees in Indy, 86 for you in Bloomington and Martinsville, and close to 90 degrees in the Muncie area. We've had a little bit of that southwest breeze today, bringing in a little more of the humidity as well. And we're going to notice that here as we go into the first half of the weekend. But we're also going to keep those temperatures warm with that south breeze tonight. We'll be into the upper 70s here at 8 o'clock, and we'll spend most of the overnight in the 70s. Tomorrow morning, about 67 degrees for that low with partly cloudy skies. And I do think it's going to be a little bit on the breezy side here on Saturday. Still that southwest wind, so that's going to warm the temperatures pretty quick. By 9 a.m., we're right around 70 degrees. Mix of sun and clouds as we go throughout the day, but I think Saturday is going to be dry for us. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, those temperatures into the middle 80s. And you notice a little bit of rain developing back into Illinois. It will stay there for the first half of the weekend. As we take a look at those high temperatures tomorrow, pretty close to where they were this afternoon. 88 in Bloomington, 86 for you in Danville and Kokomo at 84 degrees. Again, it'll feel a degree or two warmer, and it should be some very nice weather if you're heading off for the IU football game tomorrow. Doing a little tailgating, mild morning for you, 73. Mostly sunny skies here as we go into the afternoon. There's that southwest breeze, though, about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and you'll be in the middle 80s in Monroe County as we get into our Saturday afternoon. Sunday planning forecast, lots of dry time here. We're expecting partly sunny skies. Temperatures again making their way into the 80s, but here's that chance for rain on TrueCast. This is 4:30 Sunday evening. You can see that starts to dive to the south and east here, and as we get to 9:30 Sunday night, could have a few of those thunderstorms. There is a marginal risk that some of those storms could have some gusty winds in them Sunday evening, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. Also could see some decent rainfall, which we certainly need, between about 1/2 and 1.5 inches of rain coming our way here the second half of the weekend. 7-day planning forecast. Once that rain moves through here, it should get out of the area pretty early in the morning hours of Monday. And fall arrives, so do the cooler temperatures. Our high 76 degrees Monday afternoon. We're going to keep those highs in the 70s for much of next week, but it does warm up a little bit. So summer not ready to let go just yet. 82 by next Friday.
All right, we'll take it. Thanks, Kyle, for that. Well, are you looking for something to do in the next couple of weekends because it's going to be so nice out? 80s,
I am, always.
Why not take a bounce in the world's largest bounce house?
This sounds like so much fun. Right now, that huge bounce house is set up at Waterman's Family Farm in the 7,000 block of East Raymond Street on the east side. And as you can see, the bounce house almost looks like it's never ending.
Well, there you can race through on a 9,900-foot-long obstacle course there. You can go down an inflatable slide. You can travel through a space-themed wonderland and much more than that.
Well, the Big Bounce America Bounce House will be at Waterman's Family Farm today through Sunday, and it will be there next weekend, too.
And by the way, you have to pay to bounce. The price is between $15 and $30, depending on how old you are.
Oh, don't be surprised if you see Mark and I there. That looks like a lot of fun.
Bouncing away, right, yeah. Hey, what's old is new again, how you can now get your hands on a classic video game system. That story next on the News at 5.
Drive at Honda of Fishers.
Hello to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV Live, and we continue bringing you gavel-to-gavel coverage of the corn rake murder trial happening right now in Dubuque, Iowa. Defendant Todd Mollis is accused of murdering his wife, Amy, with a corn rake. And the defendant took the stand and testified in his own defense in this case. He might have saved his life. Yesterday, he was on direct examination, his own attorney asking him questions, and he denied having anything to do with his wife's murder.
Did you ambush your wife Amy in that shed that day and brutally beat her and chop her up with that corn fork?
No, I did not.
Do you know who did?
I have no idea.
The This morning, he was cross-examined by the state. The big question, and really the only question, is whether the jury will believe his story. Mollis could spend the rest of his life in prison if they believe that he used the corn rake to impale his wife and left her for dead in a barn on their family farm. All of the evidence is in, and we are on a verdict watch here at Court TV. We will be there for all of it, bringing you live gavel-to-gavel coverage. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
And thank you, Julie. You can stream Court TV 24/7 and watch a number of trials and cases at courttv.com. If you love video games, you can once again go back to the future.
The Sega Genesis is back. Well, sort of. Sega just unveiled a mini Genesis console, which is inspired by its original system that debuted in 1989.
The company is also bringing back games like Sonic the Hedgehog and Castlevania Bloodlines. The mini Sega Genesis comes with 42 games pre-installed and 2 controllers.
The price tag for this is about $80, and it's available now. However, some experts say this flashback won't make much of an impression with consumers.
In recent years, Nintendo has released a classic NES and a classic Super Nintendo, which like this new mini Sega Genesis. But it's still a lot of fun.
Right,
Christmas gifts.
Takes you back to the late 80s right there.
Very fun.
Next on the Now Indy, Indiana's Attorney General talks about more than 2,000 fetal remains found at the home of a former Indiana abortion doctor. What we're now finding out. You're watching RTV6.
I can't read or spell.
At 6 p.m., a woman's life forever changed after falling off an electric scooter. Why she's suing the makers of the scooter. We'll be right back.